Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I am Grace. So happy you are here for our low back, for a tight low back, a sore low back. We just want to stretch and relieve the low back, open the muscles in the low back and the side body. So thank you for being here. I am Grace with Ecstatic Yoga. And let's begin our practice. Let's take a moment to center ourselves. A comfortable position, sukhasa, or any comfortable position, and simply feel the body. Feel where we're connected to the earth. Tune into the physical body in space and time, acknowledging this physical extension of ourselves, this physical presence, where our soul is animating through. And begin to bring some breath into the body, breathing into the lower belly as we trigger the parasympathetic nervous system and the relaxation response. And take a moment to dive into pratyahara and scan the inner being, the emotional body, the inner aliveness. Just checking in with no judgment. Don't even need to label anything, just witnessing. Neutral observer. And take a moment to set an intention for yourself. And stating this intention in the positive and the present tense. And allow yourself to feel the emotions of this intention. And letting that intention go with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And gently and kindly opening your eyes. And we have a group intention of our low back relief and stretching and opening the low back. I'm gonna turn this phone off, which I should have already done. We're going to begin in a child's pose. Opening the knees up just a little bit so the belly can come in, and reaching the hands out, or they can be alongside the body. And child's pose, as we rest in our child's pose for a few breaths, this is going to lengthen the back here. So it gives a nice stretch. It also grounds the body. And this creates a little bit of spinal traction. Especially if we have these hands reached out, it creates a little bit more traction and lengthening. And a few breaths in this child's pose. And on your next inhale, we're going to come up into a table pose. We're going to move into balancing table. And so as we move into our balancing table, we're going to do a little cat-cow too, but first we're going to do our balancing table. This brings some strengthening in to the low back. It's also a nice stabilizer for the hips and the low back. So we're going to bring the right hand up, reach it out, almost if you're going to shake someone's hand, but you're reaching that arm out. And then you're going to take, I have my left arm on, so take that, we have our right. Take the opposite leg out and stretching that back, and take that heel and flex the foot and press the heel back as you extend the hand and the arm forward. And tuck of the chin a little bit to keep that head in alignment with the spine. And breathe. And one more breath. And on the exhale, you can release down. We move to the other side, extending the opposite hand out, stretching that forward, and the opposite leg out, and flexing that foot, and feeling the heel reach back and the hand reach back. And then a little gentle tuck of the chin so that your head is in alignment with the spine. You can be looking down and a little in front. And breathe. One more breath. And release down. Beautiful job. Move into a few cat-cows. So as we inhale, we're going to move into cow as we arch the back, lift the tailbone, and gaze up. And then as you exhale, we move into flexion, into our cat, tucking the tailbone under, rounding the back, and dropping the head to look in towards the belly and the thighs. And moving back and forth. Cow is our extension. And exhaling into cat with flexion. And then the next time you move into your cat, you're in a full extension. Bring those hips back and notice that low back and that nice stretch in the low back. Then play with it a little bit, maybe moving side to side, maybe even full circles. Finding what feels good for your low back and playing with it. Feeling that stretch and that opening. Keeping the breath flowing. And if you feel like you want to move back into a cow, having a break, and you can do a little wagging of your tail. And if you move back into your cat, bringing those hips back and feeling a nice stretch on that lower back. Gently moving, making any little micro movements or circles. Feel good for you and your body. Keeping the breath flowing. And then coming back up to center. And let's move into our child's pose and take a couple breaths just to release and relax that lower back. On the next inhale, coming up, we're going to move into some back strengtheners. So we're going to start coming forward, and we're going to start in Sphinx. So we're going to be on our elbows and our forearms. Our hands are flat on the earth. Move back just a little so you can see my whole body. And they're facing forward in front. The elbows are right under the shoulders and we're in alignment. And this gives us just a gentle extension, gentle back bend. It's not too much work. We're going to be warming the back up for a little bit more strengthening. Nice deep belly breaths. One more breath here. Beautiful. And we're going to lower ourselves. We're going to move the hands now so they're right under the shoulders instead of the elbows. And we're going to come down, bring your head down, and get those hands so they're right under the shoulders. Bring the elbows in towards the bodies. The legs are out straight. And take a moment to press that pubic bone, the whole pelvis and the pubic bone into the earth. That's our grounding. That's our foundation. Hands are here for stabilizing. We're not going to be pushing ourselves up because we're going to be using our back muscles for that. So very light on the ground. And on your next inhale, you're going to use your back muscles to lift the head and the chest up to a nice little baby cobra. Very little weight on the hands. You might want to check. Back muscles are doing all the work. And breathe. This is a beautiful back strengthener. It strengthens those low back muscles. Shoulders are back and down. Gaze is forward. One more breath here. Now this invitation, as we keep that foundation, the pelvis pressed into the earth, and bring the hands alongside, you can move into airplane or locust, bird. As you lift the legs and the arms up off the earth, using all that back strength, and breathe. And one more nice deep breath. And relaxing down. Beautiful job. And let's bring the hands by the shoulders again. Curl those toes under, moving back into a table. And bringing those hips up into a downward facing dog. And feel maybe a little walking the dog, but take a moment to be stationary in your down dog for a moment. And ears beside the arms. Bring those thighs back and bring the hips up, a gentle tuck of the tailbone. As you feel a nice stretch in the low back, nice lengthening of the low back muscles and the spine, and breathe. Heels and heart are coming towards the earth. Then, before we move to the next pose, just doing a little bit of walking the dog. Beautiful job. Coming back to center. And we're going to take that right leg forward. Take the right leg forward. We're going to move into a lunge. So coming up, we're going to move into a, disappeared there. A little bit. Yeah, so we're going to do a little lunge twisting. So this is a nice little lunge twist, can be good for the side body, which is going to help that lower back as well. Strengthens the core and the core stabilizers and warms up the muscles. Can engage the bandhas here and breathe. One more breath. Good job. And we're going to come up and we're going to switch and move right over to the other side. Move into a nice lunge twist on the opposite side. My left leg forward now. And breathe. One more breath. Let's straighten that front leg. And let's bring the hand down to a block or the earth and move into a triangle. Another good low back opening, side body stretch. And one more breath. Beautiful. And we're going to move over to the other side, straightening that front leg and move into triangle on this side. One more breath. And releasing the hand down. There's our Xander, ecstatic yoga kitty. And we're going to come down onto the floor and we're going to lay on our back. Nice, Andy. And I'm going to invite you to get a prop, a blanket, or a pillow, or you can use a block. We're going to move into a supported bridge. It's going to lengthen the front of the spine, and bridges also help our low back. Brings us into a little bit of extension, opens up the front of the spine. So bringing that underneath, you can bring it. If it's a block, you want to put that block right under your sacrum. If it's a pillow, it can be under the sacrum and the spine. It's a nice supported bridge. And you can rest those knees together, open the feet out, and breathe. Xander's going to join us for our nice reclined, nice supported bridge. Couple more breaths here. And we're going to lift our body up. We're going to maintain that restfulness on our back. And we're going to move into a supine spinal twist. And so this lumbar, this low back area, we moved it into a little flexion and extension. Now we're going to move it into a little bit of a twist to release and relax any pressure. So let's take the right leg and bring it straight. Left leg is bent. You can come up onto your right side just a little as you bring the left leg over. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep the kitty cat on here. Left knee over, and the left arm is extended out, and the head is going to turn out over the left fingertips. I know, it worked, Annie. One more breath here. And release that left leg. Straighten the left leg out. Coming up and bending that right knee. Using the left hand to guide the right knee over. Right arm extending out, gazing out over the right fingertips. And breathe. One more breath. And releasing the pose. And we're going to move into a single leg baby. So bringing up this right leg first and bending the knee and pulling down. Opening up the hip, the low back. Deep belly breaths. The opposite leg you can press down towards the earth. One more breath. And then switching legs. And the left leg up into our baby. And one more breath here. Bringing both legs up. And moving around in your happy baby for a moment. Final pose. And when you're ready, moving into your savasana. And I suggest if you are dealing with a little bit of back stuff, put a little something, a rolled blanket under your knees. So let me grab a blanket. Putting something under your knees to support that low back. We're just going to move into a short savasana, taking a moment to just let everything go. Let all the muscles in the body release and relax. Releasing all holding and tension, and just surrender the body to the floor. And allow yourself to move into silent stillness as you allow the practice to integrate. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly. And to wiggle the fingers and toes. Stretching out the arms and the legs. And rolling over to one side. Taking a breath here. And then coming up to a seated position. And taking a moment now in your seated position to scan that body again, scanning the physical body, energy body, and diving into Pratyahara again as you feel the inner aliveness, the emotions. Begin noticing any shifts and changes. And bring yourself back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better. And bringing the hands in Anjali Mudra at your heart center. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. When I am in that place in me and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me with ecstatic yoga and this short low back tune-up. Thank you, and wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.